Hello there and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about the War Within pre-patch and everything that is coming in this pre-patch. This might actually be one of my favorite pre-patches to date just because of the amazing evergreen changes that are coming to the game. But before we jump into everything that's coming with this pre-patch, I just want to shout out the sponsor of this video, and that is boot.dev. The folks at boot.dev believe the smartest way to learn code is to make sure you're never bored. Boot.dev is online, self-paced, and feels like a captivating RPG game. With boot.dev, you'll learn back-end web development from start to finish in Python and Go programming languages. The platform is designed to get you writing a ton of code, because getting your hands on the keyboard and shipping projects is the only real way to learn. At boot.dev, they never want a student feeling like they spend their money on something that isn't helping them, so they offer a 30-day, no questions asked refund policy, and a free demo of every course and its interactive features. And if you're ever completely stuck or just want to see how the instructor wrote the code, there's solutions available for every challenge on the site. So click the link in the description box and use my code MrGM to get 25% off your first payment for boot.dev. That's 25% off your first month or your first year, depending on the subscription you choose. And thanks again to boot.dev for sponsoring this video. Right, so yes, the War Within pre-patch is launching extremely soon, with the speculated release date being July 23rd in the NA region and July 24th in the EU. This is based off various different things, but last night we did get a confirmation of the end of the season, which is normally a good indicator. This pre-patch brings a ton of different system changes for the 11.0 patch, which is the patch that the War Within will use. There's some awesome changes, and this video is going to be like 30 minutes long because there's so much. So let's just dive straight into it with obviously the pre-patch event. So the pre-patch event does start a little bit later than the launch, and that begins on July 30th. This pre-patch event is pretty cool and has some nice nostalgic touches to it. So let's just run through how it all works. So the pre-patch event will be happening in 3 different zones with a 1.5 hour rotation. These zones are Searing Gorge, the Dustswallow Marsh, and Dragonblight. Now, what's cool about this is there is actually going to be portals in the middle of Legion Dalaran to take you to the specific zone. These portals will glow when that specific zone is active, and as mentioned, it's an 1.5 hour rotation throughout these zones. So once the event is active in a zone, a huge blob will spawn in a location in the zone. Once that's defeated, you'll see that you have 6 memories on the map. Now, these memory areas have different things like old bosses, old events, nostalgic things like waking up lazy peons, just all sorts of kind of nostalgic World of Warcraft things, as these are memories from Azeroth. Once all 6 memories have been defeated, a boss will spawn in the zone. Now, for Dustswallow Marsh, that is Nyxia. In Searing Gorge, it is Ragnaros, and in Dragonblight, it will be the Lich King. Once that boss has been defeated, that will be the end of the event, and then you'll just get some lingering memories hanging around, and then the event will repeat. Now, I'm not too sure on the timings of this event repeating in the 1.5 hours, but I do know it spawns obviously at the start. But yeah, I did see it pop up a couple times, just not too sure on the specific timings there. One good thing about this event is that you can actually level from it. You can start this event from level 10, so the XP for this is pretty good if you've got an AoE, because there is going to be a lot of NPCs around, and leveling will be a bit faster in the pre-patch, which we'll talk about in a minute. It was a little hard to test on the PTR, because obviously there's going to be thousands of people there on live, but obviously on the PTR there was only a couple of us there, and you are actually able to get the currency from the pre-patch, which is a nice little segue to talk about the currency of the pre-patch. So this currency is called Residual Memories. This is on the currency tab and is account wide, which is super good, so you can transfer it between your characters nice and easy using the new transfer currency feature, which we'll talk about later in the video. To get this currency, there are a ton of different sources. You have a weekly quest to kill each of the bosses. That will reward 1.5k each. Defeating memories gives currency. Killing boss NPCs gives currency. Killing all of the lingering NPCs will give 1 to 5 currency each time, and killing the boss will give around 500. So you're going to get a ton of this currency. You can just farm it all day long if you like, just in the zones, just killing random NPCs and getting currency. Of course, you're going to need this currency for all of the new rewards. There are tons of different rewards from this event, and a lot of these rewards can actually drop randomly from completing a memory or killing the boss. So that's really great that you don't have to spend all the currency on all the items. In a recent change, it looked like some BOP champion gear was also dropping from the bosses, so that is just another option to gear up your character character through the pre-patch. There is vendors that sell all the items in each of the zones and in the middle of Dalaran. The catch-up gear is 480 veteran gear, which can be, of course, upgraded. These are warband items, so they can be transferred to your alts as well, which is really nice. You also have rings, necks, and trinkets. Those trinkets do have some of the effects from some of the old raids of World of Warcraft, which is super fun. And the armor set you're going to get is the Dalaran Defender set, and this is a recolor of the Legion set from Argus, I believe. There are also weapons as well, so 480 gear is going to be the gear you're going to be getting. There are also 2 mounts available. You have the Remembered Griffin for the Alliance and the Remembered Wyvern for the Horde. These are going to set you back 20,000 residual memories. You also be able to purchase a 32-slot bag, which is account-wide, and a 30-slot reagent bag. There's also some battle pets. You have the Remembered Construct, the Remembered Riverpaw, and the Remembered Spawn, representing each 3 of these zones, and they're going to cost you 10,000. Finally, on the rewards for the pre-patch, there is a new heirloom ring. This is the Band of Radiant Echoes. So what you got to do here is combine 20 memory items from each zone. That's Eastern Kingdoms, Kalimdor, and Northrend. These items do have a chance to drop from defeating a memory or defeating a boss, and they are account bound as well. So if you get someone one character, someone another, you can just transfer those across and combine them. So once you've got all 20 from each zone, you want to purchase the Lifeless Stone Ring from the vendor. This is only going to cost you 25 residual memories, and then combine them to create the new heirloom ring. So yeah, a nice new heirloom ring for your collection from the pre-patch event. So the pre-patch event is pretty similar to other pre-patch events that we've had in the past. Pretty standard stuff here, but it is nice to have some catch-up gear there, of course, for your new alts or characters coming out of Remix. If you want to know more details about it, I do have a full video as well, which I'll link below. But yeah, that's basically it. It's just killing nostalgic things around Azeroth non-stop until you've got all of the currency and all of the rewards. Shifting into the next thing, and that is leveling updates. So in the 11.0 pre-patch, we're going to see some pretty major updates to leveling. One of the big changes here is that the XP amounts are being reduced across the board. So it's a 20% reduction from level 20 to 50, a 20 to 40% reduction from 50 to 60, and then a huge 75 to 80% reduction from level 60 to 70. Shout out to Wowhead for the level graph there. So yeah, some pretty major reductions in leveling. So leveling is going to get a lot faster in the pre-patch, of course, just to kind of level out the leveling experience with the 10 extra levels we're going to get in the War Within. Also for leveling, we're going to get a new default leveling experience. This is going to be Dragonflight. Dragonflight replaces Battle for Azeroth. With this leveling, it will be the 4 zones of the Dragon Isles. Unfortunately, the endgame zones will remain at level 70. You will be able to use Adventure Mode, so you can go to the zones you like, and you will be able to level through follower dungeons, if you like, from level 10 to 70, which is pretty cool. So if you want to do that, Dragonflight will be the default option to level from 10 to 70. For Chromie time in the pre-patch, it will remain at 10 to 61. However, as of the launch of War Within, it will go from 10 to 70. Obviously, with the addition of Dragonflight being the default leveling experience, Battle for Azeroth has been added as a choice. Another major change for leveling is that Dracthyr Evokers will now start at level 10, and there is no choice to skip the starting zone. So you will have to play through the starting zone on your new level 10 Dracthyr Evokers. One final thing on the leveling is that Mop Remix will still be active during the pre-patch, so leveling will be even faster than it is right now. So look forward to that, because that's going to be super exciting. But yeah, that's all the changes to leveling coming in the pre-patch. So pretty great, you know, a lot faster. But obviously a lot of people have leveled characters through Mop Remix now, so perhaps it won't be too relevant. But it'll be relevant later on down the line, of course, to level up your Earthens and things like that in the War Within. Also in 11.0, we are going to get some major updates to flying, which kind of coincide with a bit of leveling changes as well. So a lot of things are kind of being removed and streamlined here. So from level 10, you will learn Journeyman Riding, which is 100% riding. Yes, the 60% riding is gone as of pre-patch. Also at level 10, because of the Dragonflight changes, you will also learn Skyriding. Skyriding will be 705% at maximum, which means the flying abroad buff has been removed. However, in the Dragon Isles, it will remain at 830%. You really don't feel this change at all, to be honest. But yeah, in like Khazalgar and stuff, it will be just 705% across the board for Skyriding. Of course, on the subject of Skyriding, pretty much every single flying mount will be able to Skyride or Dragon Ride as of the pre-patch. So that's super exciting. Any mount that you could imagine, any flying mount you can imagine, will be able to Skyride. The only one, as of the recording of this video, is the Otterworldly Otuk mount, the 500 achievement mount. For some reason, is steady flight only. Not too sure why, but yeah, every single other flying mount will be able to skyride as of pre-patch, which is awesome. Once you get to level 20, you will have expert riding. This is now 220%, which was previously 150%, which is really nice. Also at level 20, you'll get a new skill called Switch Flight Style. So this is a 5-second cast, and this will switch you between steady flight and skyride. So basically, if you use your Switch Flight Style and switch to steady flying, all of those skywriting mounts will just fly regularly as they do right now. And then when you switch back, all of them will switch to skywriting. This spell also affects Druid Flyform and Drakthir Soar, which is awesome. And then when you hit level 30, you will get Master Riding. This was previously 310%, but is now 420%. So a massive increase in speed for steady flight. So skywriting will be 705% at maximum speed, and Master Riding will now be 420% blazes. So that's really cool. Really, really great changes to flying there, just streamlining it quite a lot. Speaking of streamlining, the skywriting talent tree will also get streamlined with a bunch of different talents turning passive and the tree being a lot smaller. These points will actually be pre-allocated if you've done them on a previous character, which is really nice. And if you haven't already got the points, you will unlock them while leveling instead of having to fly through the dragon riding glyphs. The glyphs are continuing to stay in the world, in the War Within as well, but they will just be for achievements if you want to go get them around the different zones. But as for points for skywriting, that is just going to happen while leveling, and if you've already assigned all of your points on a max level character, any future characters will already have those assigned. There is 2 choice nodes though. One of them is to activate Ride Along, and the other is to change Whirling Surge into the Lightning ability, and that affects all of your mounts while skywriting. So yeah, some pretty nice changes there. Don't really understand the point of the talent tree at all at this point. Maybe it'll get kind of removed eventually, but yeah, the skywriting tree is still there, and all of those things are actually accessible from the mount journal as well as of pre-patch. Of course, with every pre-patch comes the major class changes. Pretty major class changes across the board to a lot of classes, including Hunter, which seem pretty good for the most part. Of course, once you log into the pre-patch, most of your talents will be reset, and you will have to create a new build. But yes, major reworks across the board. I'm not going to list them all here because we'll be here all day, but yeah, I'll link the kind of class changes below so you guys can kind of go through that and see what changes are coming to your class. But yeah, some pretty big changes coming to classes in 11.0. Moving on into my all-time favorite feature for a pre-patch, or even possibly the game, Warbands. So Warbands isn't so much like a system that you're going to open up a UI or anything like that. It's more of just a change across the board to various systems inside the game to just make them way better. The first thing I want to mention about Warbands is that it is your entire account. It's Horde, it's Alliance, it's any level character, it's any realm. I know there's a little bit of a misconception that people think it is just for characters. That is simply just for the character screen. Speaking of the character screen, let's talk about that. So for the character screen, you do have a favorites option. You can put 4 favorites on the character screen. Those characters do stand around a campfire. The time of day around the campfire does actually change depending on the time on your PC, so that's a cool little change that we found. So yeah, so you can select 4 characters there. You can just drag and drop them from the list below. Below the favorites list is every character on your account. Now, realms do still exist. You can select a realm at the top of the screen. However, that's just simply for making new characters. Once you're on a selected realm, you could go down to the character create screen and it will tell you which realm that character is being created on. So you have all of your characters below that. You can use the search option if you are looking for a specific character, if you have tons and tons of characters. But yeah, this is a new character select screen. They did mention they are going to make different backgrounds as well. So it won't just be this campfire one. We will be getting more in the future, which I'm looking forward to. Another awesome feature of Warbands is the Warband Bank. So this is a account-wide bank with 5 different tabs. Now, to unlock these tabs, it will cost you a bit of gold. For the first tab, you need 1,000 gold. The second, you need 25,000. The third, you need 100,000. The fourth, you need 500,000. And then the fifth, you need 2.5 million. However, there are 98 slots per tab with a total of 490 if you have all tabs unlocked. So 490 items which can go into your Warband Bank. These tabs can be customized with icons and names and assigned to specific items, which is really nice. You can even assign them to certain expansions like current or legacy. Another great feature of the Warband Bank is that you can actually actually withdraw and deposit gold across realms, across characters, across factions into this Warband bank. However, you can't use that gold directly from the Warband bank. You will have to take it out on specific characters. Also, you'll be able to use reagents from the Warband bank on all of your characters, which is lovely. And there's also a toy to access the Warband bank from basically anywhere. You can also access it from items like Jeeves or any other portable bank. Any sort of bank UI item will be able to open up the Warband bank as well, which is nice. So Warband bank, definitely a win. Very, very expensive though, but yeah, I don't know if you're going to use all 5 of their tabs. Another feature of Warbands, which I like a lot, is account-wide reputations. So this is a little bit of a caveat. This is only for Dragonflight and War Within reputations from the start. Now, they did mention that they do want to do all of the other legacy reputations, but from the start of the War Within, we will only be getting the Dragonflight and War Within account-wide. Now, the way that this works is that once the rep has been gained on one of your characters, any future characters will just get like currency or something similar. So that's basically how it works, because you're all kind of like going into the same pot here. And the quest actually has a new icon and does state whether or not your warband has previously completed it. So that's really nice. I really like the implementation here. As of pre-patch, you're going to log on to like a level 1 character and you'll have all of your Dragonflight reps kind of maxed out if you've done that previously. There are a few reps that aren't account-wide through Dragonflight, but most of them will be account-wide as of launch. Another feature which I absolutely love and I just can't wait to dive into is transmog collecting. So as of the pre-patch, you will be able to collect other armor and weapon types that your character can't use. This is absolutely fantastic. So let's say you're running Molten Core on a hunter and a plate item drops, you will be able to collect that into your appearance tab. Obviously, you won't be able to wear it on that hunter, but if you have any plate characters, that item will be collected. So if you get the drop, you get the collection. BOEs will collect when selling. So if once you're selling an item, they will be added to your collection. There are a few different items which won't be able to be collected by your alts, and that is class-specific items. So things like tier 1 and tier 2, you won't be able to collect the other classes' sets. So say, once again, you're a hunter, you go into Blackwing Lair, the rogue piece drops, you won't be able to collect that piece. This is a really annoying final hurdle, which hopefully we can get changed at some point. They did change the tier tokens to be warbound, so if you have any of those from any of the later raids, that's fine. But if an item has like a specific class requirement, you won't be able to collect that unless you are that class. And you won't be able to trade it either, because it's very likely going to be soulbound, which is very annoying. One thing that's really nice, though, I will say, is that you can view other class sets, armors, and weapon types on any character. So if you open up the appearance tab, you can just do the drop down there and look at the different armor and weapon types for different classes, which is very, very nice, especially when you're collecting all of those new items. So yeah, generally speaking, great changes here. It's going to be extra easy to collect those different armor and weapon types on characters that can't use them, and I'm very much looking forward to this feature. Another thing for Warbands is transferable currency. So you'll be able to transfer currency straight from the currency tab from alts. So basically, when you click a currency, it will say that you can transfer it. Some of them are one-to-one, so you'll get like a perfect transfer, but some of them do have an alt tax. This is just simply from like, you know, past expansions having alt taxes for no apparent reason. They're just continuing that on through this transfer currency thing, but most things will be able to be transferred through one-to-one. But not all currencies are eligible. There are some currencies which are not, but there is a massive list of currencies which are, and definitely currencies we've not had transferable before, which is going to be a massive help for a lot of people going into the pre-patch here. And finally, Warbands achievements. So most achievements are going account-wide, and all of the progression to those achievements is merging. So if you have 10 of one thing on one character, 20 of the other, that'll merge into 30, and yeah, you're going to get a lot of achievements probably when the pre-patch launches, but great change, and it looks like going forward, a lot of achievements are going to be account-wide as opposed to character-specific. Moving on into UI updates in the pre-patch, there's some pretty major UI updates you're going to see once this pre-patch launches. The first thing, obviously, being the brand new login screen for the War Within. Certainly controversial. It might change by the time I posted this video, but this is the login screen as of right now. It is just a swirling circle with, the War Within logo kind of in the middle there. Definitely controversial. Potentially could change over like the patches and stuff. I would love to see that happen. I don't know if it will though, but yeah, this is the first iteration of the login screen that we've seen, so that'll be there on pre-patch. The map's getting a pretty major update with some brand new icons. These icons are actually explained in a new map legend, which is cool. So you can open that up and highlight the different ones, and it will tell you exactly what they mean and things like that, which is really cool. I'm not a fan of the new icons. I really don't like the new World Quest icon, for example, but I guess we're gonna have to get used to it. The quest log's getting getting a bit of a redesign where it looks a little bit wider, just easier to read and navigate, which is really cool to see. With quests getting labeled as meta or repeatable or weekly, a bit more clearer than it was previously, which is going to be really nice to just identify some of those quests at a glance. The spellbook has had a major overhaul in design and has been baked into the talent window as a tab. So this is a giant spellbook now, just has all of your spells there. Obviously, you can hide passives, which is really cool. There's a little checkbox for that to hide passives. You can also use a search bar to search for spells, but you can also search for terms like missing from bars. So if you don't have an ability on your bar, you can kind of click that and see what is missing, which is nice. It does also have the option to make it smaller if you do prefer a smaller UI for your spellbook. As for professions, they're going to remain on their own UI, which does look exactly like the UI that we have right now. So professions and spellbook are being switched up. But yeah, generally speaking, bigger spellbook, more space for activities, easier to navigate, I suppose. I don't mind it. I know a lot of people really hate it, but I think it's fine. Another change you'll see to kind of the UI, I guess, is that when you have a quest in progress, you'll notice that it will just have 3 dots above the NPC instead of like the previous gray question mark. Also, the numbers for quests, like, you know, on the list on the tracker, are just 3 dots now. You don't have any more numbers, which I kind of don't like. I kind of like the numbers, to be honest. So those are gone as of pre-patch. Also, just one more minor change, which I absolutely love, is crafting reagents will now state which expansion they're from. Love that. That's actually a really, really nice change. But generally speaking for the UI, there is some changes to the design of like the bars and things like that. So you'll definitely see a change here. You'll feel a change, but generally there's, you know, only a few little bits and pieces here. They said it's an ongoing project, so of course we'll see more changes going into the War Within and beyond. Moving on into guild updates here. Don't have a ton of details on this, but cross-realm guilds is going to be a thing as of pre-patch, so that's awesome. I know a lot of people are looking for that. With that change, we'll also have the removal of the cross-realm mythic restriction on mythic raiding. So as of, you know, the first tier of the War Within, cross-realm mythic will be open on day 1, which is exciting. So cross-realm guilds, definitely a feature that people are looking forward to, but not much more to add to that. That's basically what we're getting with guilds. Another feature which is super fun is Arachnophobia Mode. So if you are scared of spiders, and there's a lot of spiders in the War Within, you can activate Arachnophobia Mode. What this does is change all the spiders in the game to crabs. So if you're in like Naxxramas, these spiders are going to now be crabs. Now this is just for you to see, not people around you, but this is a really nice change, a nice accessibility change, and just works really flawlessly. And I'd like to see more things like this come in the game. Really nice, just a personal change for you to see something different. It's just a really nice change that people are probably going to use quite a bit, and just kind of fun to see all those spiders just turn into crabs. Another change we're going to see in the pre-patch is the human racial is getting an update. The diplomacy racial is gone because of warband reputations, which makes sense. Otherwise, everyone will just play humans. We have a new racial for the humans called No Place Like Home. This reduces the cooldown of your Hearthstone by 5 minutes, and it gains an additional charge. So yeah, not the best replacement for diplomacy, but it is a new change there. Just going to reduce the cooldown of your Hearthstone and give you an additional charge if you like to use it. So yeah, it could be quite useful. Speaking of Hearthstones, the Dalaran Hearthstone is getting an animation update when you cast it, and the Garrison Hearthstone is also getting an animation update. So just a minor change there. And the final minor change that I'm going to mention is the Ironforge Guards are getting new armor as of pre-patch. Yep. That's you know, I did say everything coming in pre-patch. That's definitely something coming in pre-patch. But there you go. There you go. That is the War Within pre-patch. There is a lot going on with this pre-patch. Major evergreen changes to the game, some really, really nice changes, some changes which are going to just change the way that the game is played by a lot of people, and I'm very much looking forward to that. This is just a, you know, it's a fantastic time to be a World of Warcraft fan, and this is coming extremely soon. So guys, let me know down below what you think of the War Within pre-patch, which launches on July 23rd or 24th, depending on your region. Very, very much looking forward to this for sure. Of course, the expansion launching in August with early access on the 22nd, and the expansion launch on the 26th, I believe. So that's also pretty soon. So guys, thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please do leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you want to support me outside of YouTube, I'm also on Patreon, and I'm on Twitter at MrGMYT, and I have a partner Discord channel as well. And I'm also on twitch.tv/MrGM if you want to see me streaming World of Warcraft, War Within Beta, War Within Pre-Patch, any sort of World of Warcraft. We're over on twitch.tv/MrGM every single day. And with that, guys, I'll see you next time.